Hello, my glorious subscribers. My name is PhantomSavage. And I just love Batman villains, don't you? It doesn't matter if it's something unpredictable and maniacal like the Joker, or something a bit more gritty and dark like Harvey Two-Face. I just absolutely love Batman villains and their personalities, and their voices, of course. And the coolest Batman villains of all always have the coolest sound effects applied to their voices, such as the Arkham series, or the Scarecrow in the Arkham series, which I tried to recreate here.
You married your wife because you were scared of dying alone. You had children because you were scared you won't leave anything important. You go to doctors because you're scared of dying. Need I go on?
Ooh, creepy. So I'm going to be teaching you how to do this today. I can't talk today, can I? I'm going to be teaching you how to do this. And I should mention this is actually an inspired tutorial because I was inspired by my boy Paco Slim here, who's actually the director for Let's Derp Hotiful Boyfriend over on Let's Dub Project. You can click that annotation there to check that out, or click that annotation to check out this video, which you might want to do if you have GarageBand. I, however, do not have GarageBand, and it's kind of funny when I listened to this initially. He did a lot of things remarkably similar to something I've already done for Fiona Frightening and the Wicked Wardrobe when I was messing around with, like, boss voices and stuff. So I'm kind of doing the same thing he did here, but I'm also adding a reverb to mine to make it sound like you've been hit, like, with scarecrow gas, or you're, like, in his little nightmare world. His doesn't have the reverb because it sounds more like him in the game just talking. Mine sounds like you are in Scarecrow world. So I'm going to do that. First step is first, of course. I'm going to delete that. Don't need that right now. And then I don't have that actual line anymore because I think I made that up somewhere. But I do have a series of quotes. This is one good quote, a little bit on the lengthy side. I'm just going to get through this right now. I'm going to perform this. And it's a bit on the lengthy side, but I think it embodies Scarecrow, and I'll just go through this. It's from the animated series, so you know it's good. So let me just perform that real quick. First of all, let me turn up my mic, because I tend to whisper a lot of Scarecrow. Okay, let me turn that up, and okay, let me start recording, and let's go. I taught there. I was a professor of psychology, specializing in phobias. Inducing terror has always intrigued me. Even as a boy, I liked to frighten things. People, animals, it was all the same. I became obsessed with fear's crippling power. Later, when I became their leading professor of subliminal psychology at the university, I began performing experiments on fear and its subsequent effects. Dr. Long thought I went too far. He called me a lunatic. So now they will learn the true nature of horror. And done. Okay, so first things first, let me lop off the beginning here, because I don't need that part in the whole monologue. That would be dumb. All right, so I'm going to hit my V key here. What that means for me, I've actually set up a favorite and hot-bound it, or hotkeyed it to a key on my keyboard that does a series of effects. That's just the standard equalization I do. And if you want to know what those specific effects are, you can see them in the history tab over there. But there's another tutorial I did, actually, or I didn't do, but I followed to fine-tune that. So I apply that to pretty much everything I do. Check out that annotation to see what that is. That's just my equalization. I do that on everything. So blah, 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 blah. That's done with. It sounds richer. It sounds better. It sounds like it should. So now first thing, after I've done that, I'm just going to go down here to noise reduction. Where's noise reduction? Capture that noise print because I got a bit of noise there. And I'm not really going to bother with making sure it doesn't reduce the noise too much, because I'm not really all that worried about that, because I'm going to be applying a lot of, like, flangers and reverbs and stuff like that on here anyway, so it should be fine. I'm not going to worry about how crisp and clear it sounds or how much the equalization has messed with it, so I'm going to do that. So after I've done my noise reduction and done all my equalization and stuff, hello, Skype's on. Why is Skype on? Who's messaging me? That's a certain person messaging me. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's see. Sky is now in the video. Hello, sweetie bun. You're in this video. So anyway, I'm going to actually edit, insert some silence, and I have my insert silence to about 6 seconds on the beginning. There's a reason why I want a lot of space on the beginning, because in the second, I'm going to reverse this file and it's going to sound cool. But first, I'm going to apply a flanger effect. Let's see, modulation, flanger. I have mine, I think I went to Hell's Chorus on this one, and I bumped it down to about 35% dry. 36 should work. Let me see how that sounds.
I taught there. I was a professor of psychology.
I like the way that sounds. So I'm going to apply that. That sounds fine, because it sounds like he's got that voice modulation going, because he does wear a mask, so that's that effect going. Now, I'm going to do a cool thing. I'm going to reverse the file, so essentially the whole thing is in reverse now. If you listen to it, it sounds like, yeah, if you would listen to it now, it would sound like basically any kind of, like, devil music in the 80s and 70s, because it's reversed, so I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to reverb, full reverb. I'm going to pick large auditorium. I don't think I've messed with this. I think I'm just using the preset outright. You could use a different one if you want. Then reverse again. And what that does is that it makes the reverb kind of come in slightly before the actual sound happens. So let me just amplify that a little bit, and you can kind of hear what I mean.
I taught there. I was a
yeah, you kind of hear the reverb happen just before the actual speech. So I'm happy with how that sounds. And now we're going to get to the part that Paco actually had, which I'm going to copy paste this. And notable tip in Adobe Audition, unlike GarageBand, when you copy paste something, you have to right click the copy and convert to unique copy. Otherwise, anything you mess with that one will also affect the other one. However, I just converted it to a unique copy, therefore anything I do to this WAV file won't affect my original. So on this one, basically all I have to do, I have to go down to time and pitch. I'm going to go to the pitch shifter and decrease it about 3.5 semitones. How's that sound?
I taught there.
Alright, I like that. And then I'm basically just going to do the same thing again, but first, let me start that. Decrease this. I decrease it about like 4.5 decibels. Let me see how that sounds.
I was a professor of psychology, specializing in phobias.
You can already tell that sounds so much richer, but I'm not done yet, because we still want those moments of intensity. So I'm going to have just one more of those, and put it down here. Convert to unique copy again, all right? And then on this one, I'm going to go down about, same thing, pitch shifter, and I'm going to go down about 5 semitones more. And there are specific areas in here of which I don't want the whole thing to sound this way, but I'm going to cut down to very specific parts of that speech. Like, where did I say crippling fear was a good one? Where is that?
Even as a boy.
Nope. Crippling fear, was it about here?
Fears. Crippling power.
Crippling power is where it was.
Obsessed with.
Alright, so I'm going to do that. Split that. And then split it here again on that one. And then I'm pretty much good till the end. So I just want them to have like that really bassy sound on the moments that he gets his most intense. And now that all 3 of those tracks are done, the effect is pretty much done. Now it's over. It was that simple. Check out the finished product.
taught there. I was a professor of psychology, specializing in phobias. Inducing terror has always intrigued me. Even as a boy, I liked to frighten things. People, animals, it was all the same. I became obsessed with fear's crippling power. Later, when I became their leading professor of subliminal psychology at the university, I began performing experiments on fear and its subsequent effects. Dr. Long thought I went too far. He called me a lunatic. So now, they will learn the true nature of horror.
There you go! That's definitely Scarecrow if I ever heard one! Oh my god, everybody run! Somebody call Batman! Anyway, that's the end of this tutorial. Good luck working with your own. This has been fun. I like this. Maybe I'll do more of these in the future. Thank you all for watching, and if you want some more videos, check some out in the description. I'll surely link some. Good night and Godspeed!